Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So before I get into the stories for today, I wanted to remind you guys that tomorrow there will be an episode, but instead of Mini Scroll, it will be my interview with Heather and Whitney from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I know we have a lot of Bravo fans that listen to this podcast, but I also know we have a lot of non-Bravo fans. But I think it's still an interview if you guys even if you don't watch Bravo and you don't care about Housewives, it's still a really interesting one because I tried to keep it very internet culture focused. Like we talked a lot about having a chronically online fan base and how that impacts their experience on the show in real life as like reality TV celebrities. So I hope you guys will get something from it. It was a wild, wild interview. As I said last week, they were so energetic and fun and just like silly the whole time. But I think it was okay. All right, let's just get into the stories for today. So the first story that I have for you guys is a bit of tech news. Internet Archive is under siege by hackers. So the Internet Archive is the largest preserver of internet activity worldwide. It's run by a nonprofit organization based in San Francisco, and it's responsible for the popular Wayback Machine, which launched in 1996. Last week, the nonprofit was attacked by hackers where they leaked information of millions of users and, quote, defaced it with a message taunting the nonprofit's website for running on a shoestring budget, according to the Washington Post. That is just so mean. Just like so petty and savage. The attack has impacted over 900 billion, with a B, pages archived by Internet Archive on the Wayback Machine. Now, to prevent further leaks, Internet Archive has taken the Wayback Machine offline for the past week, which is the longest it has been down in 30 years. This has caused a lot of discussion about the importance of archiving online history, especially given how fast-paced everything is. And we talked a bit about this on the MySpace episode, on my MySpace deep dive that we did, a few months ago. You know, you can't find old MySpace profiles because there was like some server glitch and they were basically just like wiped clean. So, profiles, I think it was up until like 2014, are just gone with all the photos and all the information, all the data. And the same can be said for so many things. Like even as like a digital media journalist, articles that I wrote, sometimes even like 5 years ago, as early as 5 years ago, you can't find them anymore. Like no matter how hard you put like my name together with all the different keywords, with the publication title, you cannot find this. There is such a common misconception that the internet is forever. And I think, it makes sense. It felt like forever. It felt like having this big digital footprint, it would follow us forever when we were younger. And our parents just had to say that because you want to be careful what you post on the internet. Like that still rings true. But our digital footprint, at least from, the 2000s, 2010s, it's not as preserved, I think, as a lot of us thought it would be. And Internet Archive is one of the ways or one of the tools that, has been actually preserving that. And it's so important to preserve our internet history. Like, it's crazy to think that given how fast-paced everything is and the rate of change in technology, like the fact that we are just losing decades of information all the time, like genuinely all the time. There is so much important work that this nonprofit organization is doing. For example, the Wayback Machine is often presented in evidence in court cases when that kind of evidence has been erased. So, it is doing like good, important work, this organization. And they said in this Washington Post article, they have no idea why the hackers did it. It's very likely they just did it to say that they did it. So I guess they'll be investing more heavily in cybersecurity moving forward because they did say also in this article that they haven't been. But yes, very scary. And I think the Wayback Machine as of like today is back up, but other elements of Internet Archive are still down. All right, the next story that I have is that Ariana Grande has apologized for being the worst celebrity encounter ever named by Elvira. So a clip went viral over the past probably about 24 hours of spooky entertainer Elvira naming Ariana Grande as her worst celebrity encounter.
Rhymes with Periana Mande. Okay, she came and she brought 20 guests. She wanted 21 tickets. We're like, okay. And we give her the tickets and she comes backstage and she asked if I could take pictures with all of her friends and relatives she brought. I take a picture with every single one of them. I sign autographs for every single one of them. Then I say to her, could we take a photo together? She goes, no, I don't really do that. I mean, come on, okay?
Elvira posted screenshots of an article talking about this to her Instagram, which is kind of crazy, and that prompted Ariana to respond. So Ariana wrote, I'm so disheartened to see this. I actually don't even remember getting the chance to meet you because I had an anxiety attack into my memory left before the rest of my family. This was around 7 years ago, and at the time, I was really not great with being in public crowds or loud places. But if I'm remembering this moment, I sincerely apologize for offending you. Thank you for being so nice to my mom. She told me how lovely you were. She might have had different feelings about that now, but I'll talk to her. Clearly, we all have our days. Sending love always. You'll always be our queen of Halloween. Okay, so I actually just wanted to mention this because I feel like when celebrities call each other out, and Elvira to Ariana Grande is a very big leap. They're very different scale of celebrity. But still, when, she's famous enough that it got picked up. I think when celebrities call each other out, I think it's just kind of savage. Or even sometimes I find when TikTokers make videos about meeting different celebrities in public and stuff, I just don't think that's necessarily appropriate. I don't know. I think, okay, it's one thing if a celebrity has a really bad experience with Ariana Grande and they tell people in their lives and then it kind of moves around the industry, and then Ariana Grande has a reputation in the industry for being difficult or not very nice or whatever. I think, sure, that's fair game. You can talk about it within the industry, within your private life, with people that you know, even if they're work colleagues, you can share that information. I think bringing it to the fans, we have no idea what it feels like to be famous, and we have no idea what someone might be going through in any given moment. And I think we often are kind of waiting for people to trip up. I think it's this kind of, it feels validating, or it's confirmation to us that these people that have it all, well, they have it all, but they're assholes. So I think we can, as we as the fans, as the public who don't understand the context of that interaction and what it feels like to be that celebrity, or what they could have been going through in that moment, whatever, it just leads to bullying. I don't know if that's really the right word, but just so much hate directed towards that celebrity. And I just don't think that's fair. I'm surprised that she posted this, that she shared this about Ari. I think it's just kind of shitty. I think it's, like I said, fine to do it within your circle, even within the industry, but bringing it to the fans is taking it to another level. To me, it's a step too far. Okay, speaking of Ari, I did want to touch on the Wicked poster being changed. I feel like it is one of the most viral things going on TikTok right now, and we could not avoid it. So a fan on TikTok edited the Wicked poster of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande to look more like the original playbill. But in doing so, they basically covered Cynthia's entire face. So Cynthia saw this and she posted on her Instagram story. She put a screenshot of it, and then she wrote, "This is the wildest, most offensive thing I have seen. Equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your pussy green?" People have been commenting that on the poster. So Ariana Grande is whispering, it's the Wicked poster, right? So Ari is whispering to Cynthia, and people have been commenting is your pussy green? As in that's what Ari is asking Cynthia Erivo. So she said, "None of this is funny. None of it is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I'm a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me, and that is just deeply hurtful." Okay, so There are a lot of mixed opinions on this reaction to the fan edit, but I did want to come at this from the perspective of the celebrity. I think no matter how you feel about Cynthia or this particular situation, I do think we rarely consider how the fan object feels about the concept of fan edits in general. And in this story, she mentions several different like fan edits and interactions and like ways that fans are engaging with Wicked and like inside jokes that the fandom is already creating about Wicked. Like she mentions those in this story. So this is obviously something that she has been dealing with. Like she's been, I'm going to assume struggles, maybe not the right word, but I was going to say like struggling with like the level of fan interaction and fan engagement with Wicked. And Ariana Grande is probably very used to this by now because this is just her reality. And it has been for like a decade. But for Cynthia, this might be a little bit more new. I think usually fan edits are pretty harmless. And I'm sure some celebrities do love seeing like compilations of their performances and, you know, things like that. But there are a lot of like really messed up fan edits. And I'm not saying that this is a messed up fan edit. Again, this is not necessarily about this particular situation. I just think sometimes we need to like zoom out and see the context in which someone is reacting, right? So when you think about like some of the fan edits that we see, guys, like we see like yassified celebrities all the time, like Leighton Meester, Blake Lively, I don't know, just like all of these celebrities constantly, Jessica Alba, and it's like the original photo and they will just like perfect 365 it. And they have like so much more makeup on. They change their hair color, they change their skin tone sometimes. We'll see songs that are created using a singer's voice with AI, which I can imagine is like super creepy and weird. Brie Larson is a great example. When she was Captain Marvel, there were fan edits changing her breast size, her butt size, adding more glam to her. Like, I think more celebrities feel conflicted about fan edits than we realize because they normally don't talk about it and they normally don't voice it. So the person that made the fan edit said, while I deleted initially as I felt it was the right thing to do, fan posters have been around for as long as movies have existed. I never meant to cause any harm, and the poster is just an homage to the original Broadway poster, just like the movie's recreation is. Also, I will say that Cynthia is valid in having her feelings on the matter, and I'm also valid in wanting to keep my version of the poster up, as I truly meant no harm with it and just made it as a way to show my love for the original. Both can be true. And Ari was asked about it on the red carpet at the like Academy Museum Awards or whatever, that gala that just happened that like every celebrity went to.
You know, I think it's very complicated because I find AI so conflicting and troublesome sometimes, but I think it's just kind of such a massive adjustment period, and this is something that is it's so much bigger than us, and the fans are gonna have fun and make their edits, but of course, you know,
sometimes it goes too far.
I think so, and I have so much respect for my sister Cynthia, and I love her so much, and you know, it's just a big adjustment period.
It was very media trained of her. It was very Disney star of her. Disney? No, she was Nickelodeon. Whatever. Yeah, so she clearly didn't really want to give a solid opinion one way or another, and I get that. Like, she doesn't want to piss off the fans. She's been dealing with fan edits for like her entire career, but she's so close with Cynthia. They are taking this film so seriously, and she probably wants to support, you know, someone that she is like so close with and loves so much as well. So I think she handled it as best as she could in that moment. All right, guys, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Please star us on Spotify. I love you guys, and there will be the interview tomorrow, and then I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Okay, bye.